Hello, traders. Welcome to today's live session. Without wasting much time, we'll be analyzing major pairs. Let's say RUSD, GPUSD, Good, BTC, and other major pairs. All right, and also we'll be looking for live trade for the day. We'll be looking for live setup right here. Okay. Without wasting much time. So right here will be starting with the BTC. Right from the outlook I gave last week, I said we have a short-term liquidity low right here, right? A low which is liquidity, right? A liquidity low right here, which market can use for short-term buy program. But another thing I'm expecting on BTC is a sell program. And where am I expecting the sell program? I'm expecting the sell program at this level. So I'm expecting the sell program on BTC at this level. So I'm bearish on BTC currently, at least to feel or to take out this low because market did not trade away from this area that fast. Okay, because of this has already created a liquidity within this area now. So that means this low plus all this low are liquidity. Since we have that as liquidity, the next thing I expect of price is a break of structure, and we have gotten the break of structure right here. Since we have gotten this break of structure, the next is where we look for sell. The first thing is what? Inducement. This high right here is inducement high. I'm expecting this high to be inducement high. Then looking for a sell program from this particular level. So this can be a good trade for BTC without refining it. Right? If I decide to refine it, we can even go lower on lower time frame. No much refinement. So this can be 1:6, all right? 1:6, or kind of like about um this is about 4,000 pips, right? So this is a good trade, 4,000 pips. So if you cut this trade, perfect, you're done for the week, right? So this is 4,000 pips. We also look at gold and see what gold is doing currently. Now on gold, if you look at it from higher time frame or from let's say daily time frame, okay, so I'll be removing everything or some of these major things right here to avoid noise. So you see that gold is still within this major point of what interest. Okay, gold is still within this major point of interest. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that okay, gold is still respecting this area. But based on what is happening currently in Middle East and in USA, right? I'm expecting gold to be bullish. But before the bullish move or the bullish run on gold, we can have some pullback. Right here, we have a break of structure of this high. Market broke this high, but broke it with only the wick and reject the resistance level. So this is a complete resistance level. Market reject this resistance level. What does this mean? That guess what? High chance this low is inducement low. This low is inducement low. So if this is inducement low, that means we'll be looking for buy below this low, not above that low. Okay. So since that is inducement low, the next thing is what? Where will market likely buy from? Okay. There are two things market can do. Either it will what? Induce this low, immediately inducing it, buy from this support level right here, the upside, or it induce it, trade into our point of interest before a buy program. So this is another trade I am monitoring. So what I'm doing here is kind of like I'll be risking some trade right here. Let's refine that point of interest to see if we can have shorter stop loss, just like right here. So if you come on this time frame, you understand that the last structure or the last low market broke was this. Now this is pure structure without adding any of those other model I use. All right. So this is pure structure. So we are just focusing only on structure alone. Okay, yes, I will analyze GP, but let's talk about gold first. So the first thing now we have to understand here is this: market broke this low right here. Before breaking this low high, or before breaking this high, so that is one major thing I always look out for. So before market broke this high, it created this little structure right here, and before market break this little high right here, which is kind of like a double top. So we just look at it. The high of this candle is 32.9601. 32.9601. This one is 32.9606. This one is 01. That means this high is higher than this high. So this has given us a refined point of interest in terms of refinement. Okay, that we can have this area as our point of what? Interest. And if we decide to even refine it more, we can expect market to take this low as liquidity or as inducement. This little low right here. So this has not given us an edge of where we will expect market to what? Buy from, or where we wait for market to come to before we take our entry. But at the same time, on H4 time frame, we have this. On daily time frame, we have this support level, right? On daily time frame, we have this support level. All right, that is another major area you can watch out for. But this is the one I will be monitoring, this area. So this will be daily support level. Let's see. Okay, this is daily support level. Why the other one was that POI peak on lower time frame. So I'll be using this resistance level right here. So if you want to refine it, you can even have this as a point of what? Interest. Okay, so there are two things I'm saying here. What market will likely do? Either it will buy from here, because I've refined this zone before now, right? And the market tapped into it a little around here. So around here, this is also within my point of interest. So if I'm buying good, this can be a good level to buy good. Since fundamental analysis and technical analysis are supporting bullish expansion on gold. So this is one of the major trade I'll be monitoring for the week. So I'll be monitoring this trade for the week. Now, there's another trade we'll look into, which is Euro USD, a bearish program. So understand this: Euro USD is fully bearish. All right. So that means every pullback you have is a sell opportunity. Every pullback you have is a sell opportunity. And when we look at it from higher time frame, let's say from weekly time frame, you see that around here, market has gave a proper mitigation within the structure high right here. So with this proper mitigation, that means there's a high chance market is dropping lower, if possible, into this range. This is where market is coming into, or this is where RUSD is coming into. So it's coming into this range. So any buy opportunity you have will probably be what? A pullback, right? A pullback for sell movement. So we'll be expecting what? A deep pullback into this major structural range before we start expecting another bullish expansion on Euro USD. So with that in mind, you come to lower time frame. Let's say daily. Daily yesterday was a bullish candle. Today probably be a bearish candle. But if today offer us a bullish candle, so what is the next thing we expect of price? Since market has already induced this high right here, and this is a long wick right here, and there's some equal top right here, so this area can act as kind of like let's go to lower time frame to refine this area to avoid mistakes. Okay, so we have the imbalance we look for here. So this area can act as our point of interest. So you just pick 50% above that imbalance, which will be somewhere around here. So even with that calculation, 50% will be somewhere around here. Okay, so this can be another area to sell good if market is here to take out this low. First, you wait for confirmation. So that is another major thing. So, but understand that good is fully bearish. Good is fully bearish. So we're expecting a deep pullback on good. The same thing on Euro, on USD Chef. Now, but on this pair, I was actually looking for this sell, all right. But yesterday, market did not break this low. This low right here. If market broke this low, I would have sold USD Chef this low or into this POI before a buy program. I mark these two POI, this or this. So I'm buying USD Chef. Absolutely. I'm buying the pair. I'm not fully bearish. I'm only bearish for a short term for market to give us some pullback before a bullish expansion. So I'm also expecting what a deep retracement into this major structural range on USD Chef. So these are the major pairs. The same thing across all these pairs. They are turning bearish at the current moment. All right. Now, just like I said, because we're already entering a London key zone or New York key zone, I mean to say, we look for a live trade possibly to take. All right, in form of like a scalping setup. We look for that. So before we look for that, let's just analyze. Let's analyze this pair, which is arrow. Yes, arrow. Okay, arrow GPV. So with the current flow, I was actually looking for a sell program on this arrow GPV as of yesterday. I was expecting this buy, then a sell somewhere around here. But with the news push above it and continue dropping. But that's not a problem. So the first thing you do is you come to higher time frame to see what market is doing. Let's say daily or weekly. So when you come on this higher time frame, the first thing you understand is that what is market currently doing, or where is market within this time frame. So based on fundamental analysis and technical analysis, we use two of them because they work hand to hand for me. All right. So when you look at this current movement right here on this pair, we understand that there are a lot of lows around here. Okay, there are a lot of lows around here. This makes all these lows liquidity and price. So this is what is drawing liquidity currently, and this is why market is here to trade away from this gap. So market is supposed to push up, but it need this liquidity. That means you need to take this liquidity first before we see push. So with that in mind, all right, that means any major push up will probably be what, a retracement for market to become bearish. It will probably be what, retracement for market to become bearish. So with that in mind, we understand that now market has traded into this resistance level, a daily or a weekly resistance level. So you can use this, let's say a weekly resistance level. Market trade into this level. Now after market trade into this level, the first thing again, the next thing you do is what? You mark out your last structural range on this weekly time frame, which is this. This is our break of structure to the downside. So with this break of structure to the downside right here, that means there's a draw of liquidity only with structure right here. This low being our draw of liquidity. The next thing is what is happening within this structure range. The next thing is what, market break above this high and this low. So this is minor break of structure. So with liquidity or this liquidity right here, we understand that market is targeting these lows. both this one and this one, so it's targeting all of them. It's still coming back. At least we need a sharp movement down. This type of sharp movement that market offered up here, we need it down right here. We need that down movement right here before we expect a bullish expansion. So if market rate this low and reject it just like as it did to this one, I will also expect a sell, right? So that means the remove, the remanipulation for this liquidity is yet to happen. So that means I'm still expecting market to drop deep for an up push. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So with that in mind, the next thing is what? So have this break of structure. We have internal structure before market break this low. Structures that market form before taking this low. And we have them right here. In those internal structure, we have this. So we have this lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, then a lower low. The market broke structure now to the upside. But when you look at it currently, or when you look at it clearly, you understand that this little high right here can act as liquidity. If it can act as liquidity, because this looks like a double top, right? This being a liquidity, with that you can expect a short-term pullback right here. That is the first thing. Now, if you can expect a short-term pullback from here, at the same time, you can also expect a short-term retracement into this level before a buy program, right? Because what I'm expecting is a bearish flow. So, and the bearish flow will happen likely in two ways, either from here or from this level. So these are the two things I'm expecting. The most important thing is that I'm expecting it to happen within this void in a week, or within this long week right here. That is the most important analysis I have currently. Now, since we have this support level right here, which is obeying order flow for an uptrend, and we have gotten this pullback right here and failed to break this low. So what that is telling us is that currently, even if we are bearish overall, market is still what? Giving us bullish momentum. So that means we'll be waiting for that sell probably around this high, not selling instantly. Okay, so with that in mind, now on this time frame, we can scale in. Before that, we have a resistance level right here, a weekly resistance level, and we have a weekly imbalance that market can come into before a buy program. So these are the things market is giving us. Okay, so let me just mark it out so we won't be confused. Now, when we come to this time frame, the next thing we expect of price is this. Market went above this little high right here. It went above this little high. So after this liquidity grab right here, it came for this low, which is inducement. So this is short-term break of structure, but at the same time an inducement. So what am I expecting on this pair? So there are two things I'm expecting. I'm expecting a bullish, since market has continued structure around here. Okay, I'm expecting two things: either a bullish continuation from here, or deep pullback for this move. So these are the two things. Now, this is where model come into play. So once you're able to maybe understand what market is doing on higher time frame, but you are not 100% sure of what is happening on higher time frame, so that is when you come to maybe 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, to be looking for sell or buy model, any of those model that you trade. So when you come to lower time frame, like let's say 4 hour time frame, now if I have a sell model, the market is forming, I will look for a sell program, right? So currently the only sell model I have is this. So that means I'm only expecting a short-term sell. Okay, if I'm selling Euro GPP, I'm only expecting the sell to last for a little while, then a bullish expansion can start happening. And this, because of this consolidation right here, that was why I was looking for sell right here around yesterday, before this news actually happened. Right, so this is one major thing that you should focus on. So once you have this model, which is kind of like a sell program, and you are targeting within this area, right? First TP around somewhere around here, then the last TP below this. After this, it can decide to start with buying. So this is a model that one can look into. So now another thing is this: I don't just buy because I'm expecting market to buy from here. I look for mitigation. So this area, within this area, is there a proper mitigation for market to buy from here? Answer is yes. There's a little mitigation right here, and the last mitigated zone is this. So if this is last mitigated zone, that means market can come to this area for a buy program. So there are two things I'm waiting for: my buy program, or if there's no buy program, then I'll wait for my normal confirmation, which is smart money footprint, a sharp movement, a downside into this level, and a break of structure at resistance level plus engulfing, then a bullish expansion. That is just a basic confirmation. But the one major thing I look out for is purely model, and I have up to like two or three model that I use in confirming a buy program or a sell program. But market doesn't form this model regularly. All right, it doesn't form this model regularly. So there are sometimes it can form them maybe twice a week, once a week, or three times a week, or four times a week. That's how model works. It doesn't come always. But if you are using structure, structure is every day. But at the same time, it requires more of what risk management in terms of structure, because you are on a verge of like 50-50%. So you know market can decide to buy, how it can decide to sell. Like model whereby you have 80 or let's say 85% or 90% chance of proper winning, except news decide to fuck you up, just like this type of news, which can happen sometimes. So this is a move I'm waiting for on price on Euro GPB. And if market offer this entry today or tomorrow, I will update it in the channel. So let's go back to daily time frame and look for a possible scalp setup across major pairs. So let's start with some of the USD pairs, and from daily time frame I can actually decide if I'll be looking for a buy program or a sell program for that day. So I don't need to go on lower time frame. Okay, let's see this US 500. Let's see if we have a setup on this pair. Okay, so today's session we spend more time. At least if market give us an entry opportunity on this pair, we can look for short-term scalp setup. All right, to be a scalping setup just to target this little high right here. It's not a string type of trade. It's kind of like a scalping setup that doesn't happen regularly. All right, I trade this sometimes, sometimes I don't trade, but it has a high accuracy. But just that it doesn't happen regularly. It happens just once in a while. All right. So if we have a break of structure plus confirmation here, we take this trade. We look for this buy program today. So this is one of the trade we'll be monitoring. So I will just move it up just a little bit below Euro USD. So let's look at other pairs if we have buy opportunity on other pairs. The same thing with this. That means we'll probably have one setup on US 50, US 500 or US 30. So if I have any setup on them, we take the trade. The same thing on Euro New Zealand. So we look. These are the pairs we've been monitoring. GPB AUD also, but this one is already buying massively. So no need of checking on that one again. This also. We see if we have any scalping setup on it. This also, but this pair I don't like it that much. Currently I don't like that pair. Okay, this one is already happening. Okay, this is another pair. I like this pair a little, so we can just shift it to this place. So these are the pairs. This also, well, this is already buying massively. GPB New Zealand. Let's just look at it on 1 hour time frame to see. Okay, so these are the pairs we'll be monitoring. So let's start with the US 80. If we have opportunity for buy, and I'm just looking for a buy program, not a sell program. So if the buy setup did not happen, no sell program. So what I'm looking for is CRT reversal, right? Within this candle, all right? I'm looking for CRT reversal, possibly if it can take this low, absorb this low before forming the CRT, then a confirmation on lower time frame, then we buy to the upside. So these are the some of the trades I will be monitoring for the day. So if in the live session market is not giving entry, and outside the live session market offered an entry, I will send it right here. I'll send it set up right here. So this is another trade. Let's see. Okay, let's see if so. This pair is not perfect, but this is completely part of the trade we can monitor for the day. So I'm looking for a sell program on this pair, and let's see if we can. The sell program is already happening already, sir, but it's not within key zone. So we just wait for another confirmation. Then we look to sell, which is New Zealand USD. So I'll wait for markets within this zone right here. So once market give us any pullback, then a confirmation, then I will be looking for sell down from this area. So these are some of the model I can trade sometimes, like a scalping setup. The only thing is that the TP is not that far, or it's not in terms of good in terms of TP targeting. So you can have about maybe 30 pips stop loss and TP of 60 or 70 pips. So which is kind of like the RR is very very low. Because if market give us this entry, our first target will likely be this low before this low. So that is just the only difference. But it happens sometimes. But this type of setup doesn't happen always. So just like the whole of the pair, you can only see that it's happening across only about three pairs. Okay, so these are the pairs we'll be monitoring for the day. This and this and New Zealand JPY. So we'll be looking for a sell opportunity across these pairs. At the same time, if market will not give us entry on time, so we look for kind of like a swing trade with another model on higher time frame. Let's say 1 hour time frame. Let's start with this Euro USD first. Okay, USD chef. So if we have opportunity, then we'll look for a trade. And this is one of the trade that one can look to enter. Now this trade, um, like 70 or 80% sure market is coming for this high. So these are some of the trade that if market give us opportunity within this imbalance, we can look for a buy setup. But I don't send this type of setup in the channel because it's kind of like the point of interest we have here will be up to 2 or 3. So I don't kind of like if the point of interest is more than 2, I don't send those type of setup in the channel. So if not, this is a good trade that one can look for a buy program continuation. If market give us a pullback to grab these 2 lows right here as liquidity, one can look for a buy program to make a higher high right here. So that is one major trade one can monitor. Let's see if we can have some swing trade setup. Okay, this is another one trade that I'll be monitoring. Now note, this is early consolidation. I will update this in the channel also since we have discussed it today. If not, because some of these pairs I don't monitor them every day. So I only monitor some of them. I don't monitor them every day. So that is why sometimes I don't send setup every day. So if not, right here we have this early consolidation, and the next is what we expect, what manipulation to the downside. Since we're expecting a manipulation, the next is what distribution to the upside. So a possible distribution. So right here we have a long or 10 long weeks. So we scale into like 15 minutes or 5 minutes to look for a perfect point of interest, which we can use for the bullish program. So one of the areas we can monitor is that it has a lot of imbalance. It has imbalance right here, no proper mitigation. So market can use anything right here. So the most important thing right here is if it has a lot of point of interest like this, you just have to pick the last one, right, which is the SC candle right here. So if you have the SC candle, then you can refine it even more to see if we can have a smaller stop loss. So right here you have imbalance right here. So that means we have POI just right below it. So this can be a good level for buy program. This does not mean market can get to this level before buying. So it can decide to give a confirmation within this area, start buying. So at that point, if you give that confirmation, you can buy from this area. I can also do the same. So, but if I'm to send the setup across the channel, that means I will only send market get to this level before buy program. But this does not mean you cannot get to this level and give confirmation and buy. So the most important thing is what the confirmation right there. So if there's no proper confirmation, then I will still be waiting for price at this lower level or at this last point of what interest before a buy program. So that is the most important thing you have to understand. So this is one of the major point of interest will be monitoring. So right here, I will do this like this. Then I will update this trade. This will be kind of like a swing trade that we can take, right? But at the same time, you can wait for confirmation within this area because the stop loss is too much, 17 pips stop loss. So you wait for confirmation and take this type of trade. So this can be one of the trade we can look into. So let's look at other pairs if there's any one that is currently happening. Okay, no clear setup. The only setup I have currently is this BTC sell. Though you can start selling from here, you can start selling from here. So if market give a pullback plus confirmation around here on lower time frame, you can take the entry. This will become 1:4 if you are entering from around here, right? So this is one of the trade. But if market decide to give the pullback, you wait for confirmation, possibly around here, right? This little resistance level here for this sell. So this is one of the trade we can monitor. So this is one of the trade. I will update this trade also in the channel today. A trade we are monitoring for a sell program. So this will be the trade. So we have about one and USD card buy program. The buy program can start around here. Here we're having a CRT reversal. So if market decide to give us a clear CRT buy program, we can look for a buy program, right? We can absolutely look for a buy program on 1 hour time frame. If this become the CRT plus confirmation on 5 minutes time frame, though the confirmation a break of structure on this time frame is this, so it's very very far. So the next thing is what you wait for SMS, right? A shift of structure plus imbalance. So for an SMS to happen to whose structure, it must surely have imbalance. If an SMS happen and it doesn't have imbalance, that SMS is not a real SMS. So that is one major thing you have to understand. So we only wait for a CRT reversal, then an SMS before looking for a buy program on this. So these are the two major pairs we look at in terms of what short term intraday or swing trade. So why this is a scalping setup on lower time frame. So we're just looking for if market give us a short term pullback right here, then sell to make a lower low and possibly this. So that was it. But market just continued dropping on this New Zealand JPY. So they just continue dropping. I was expecting this to get to this area, then we sell. So this is one of the trade would have taken. Another one is this US 500 and US 30. So these are the two pairs. If you're able to, it doesn't provide setup every time, but if let's say in a month it provides you one setup or two setup, and those two setup you're able to win two of them, you are okay for that month, and you don't need to risk. Even if you are risking 0.25% on this, and you're able to make let's say 105, 106, you're okay for that week, right? So if market offers us an opportunity for this, for a buy program on this, not a sell, rather a buy. So we wait for a break of structure of this high first again now. Since this one failed to break, so we wait for a break of structure right here and then another engulfing of it, then before we buy for this high. So these are the two trade I'll be monitoring for the day. So this US 30 and US 100. So market has grabbed this low, which is kind of like a liquidity pool. So right here we have gotten a short-term shift of structure. So wait for CRT to happen on 1 hour time frame. If this candle becomes a CRT candle, then we can possibly look for a buy program on this pair. So we'll be targeting this high. One will be this little high, then the second will be this high. So these are the two targets. So it can get to this level and start dropping. At that point, I don't care again. So what I'm after is just the short scalp setup if it offers us one right here. So if you offer us one setup right here, I will update you all in the channel. So but at the current moment, the trade I'll be updating currently will be this CAD JPY and BTC sell program. So this is a buy, this is a sell program. So these are the two trade I'll be updating you guys. So if you have any question, you can drop the question in the comment section. If there's no question, we are done for the day. All right. So that is all for the live session today. Okay, so there's no question, then we call it a day here. So see you all in our next live session. Take care.